Hi guys, my name is Marion Kerr and I'm the writer-director for Golden Earrings, and I am looking up the definition of podcast on Wikipedia right now. And Wikipedia tells me that a podcast is a program which is made available as a download digital file. It is usually spoken word, usually released periodically as part of a series, and usually offered via web syndication. A podcaster is the person who creates the content. So as weird as it is to me, I think I'm a podcaster. I'm currently becoming a podcaster. This is going to be the first podcast in a series of podcasts. I decided to see how many times I can say the word podcast. I decided to do about the struggle to finish my film Golden Earrings. I shot Golden Earrings a little over 2 years ago. It's my first feature film, and I'm now getting to the point where I'm really finishing it. I think I've said that I finished it about twice, but now I'm really finishing it. And in talking and working with a lot of other filmmakers during those 2 years, I've noticed that there are a lot of struggles in independent film, certainly, to just make it in general, but there's also this enormous set of struggles I've noticed in just finishing the film. After you shot it, just from post-production to actually getting the thing done. Like, you can wash your hands of it, I'm done, I made my movie, there it is. That's this whole other ball game, and I've noticed that I've been keeping everything about this process, especially this post-production process, very secretive. I'm not really sure why. That's just kind of how I am, I think, but I've noticed that a lot of other filmmakers aren't really like that, and they're very open and they share a lot. And every story that I've heard or watching other filmmakers' podcasts, I've always found them really interesting because I see so much of my own experiences and fears and aspirations in what they're saying. So I've decided to start being a little bit more open about my own processes and struggles and finishing this film, and I've decided to make some podcasts about these final elements in finishing the film, and hopefully this can serve to inform people not only what's going on with Golden Earrings, but also my own experiences that hopefully other people can relate to. First off, real quick, I've noticed that when you make a film that's largely self-financed and through a lot of friends and favors, that the favors can come really fast and furious during pre-production and production, but that in post a lot of that drive gets lost. And then I think there's also the fact that a lot of favors and donations and of people's time and resources trickle in more slowly in post because you don't have the immediacy of production on your back. If your friend is doing your Foley for free, and it doesn't really matter if your friend does it today, next week, or next month, or next year. And if your friend has a real paying job, then that's always going to take precedence over the favor that he or she's doing for you. So there's the time that gets lost when that happens. And then I think there's also dealing with the lapse of time. People change so much, not only just as people in 2 years, but as artists, certainly, in 2 years. And I think it's really hard to feel passionate about something now as you did 2 years ago when you were actually making it. In part because of these changes, but in part because I think you grow to a certain extent that looking back becomes kind of painful in a lot of ways. You realize you actually wouldn't make the choices you made anymore, and in fact the film you may be looking at when so much time has passed may not be the film that you would make today, and there's this fear that in showing it to people that people will judge you artistically on something you did then, and that can be really difficult, I think, to kind of deal with. Some of the changes that have been made that I'll talk about in later podcasts have been, first of all, we opened a picture locked cut, a picture that had been locked for a year and a half. We opened and changed some things, shaved off a few minutes. There's a new song, which I will talk about in the next podcast. There are new logos that go to the front of the film. There's some visual effects. The movie takes place in space now? No. But there are some visual effects. And there is a new sound designer who has done some great work and is currently doing some more work on the film. So those are some of the things I'll be talking about in later podcasts, so I hope you guys stay tuned. and are remotely interested in this at all, I have no idea, because this is not really my deal, as I'm sure you can tell. But I hope you become a fan on the Facebook page and check out our webpage, and hopefully stay tuned for more to come. Thanks a lot, guys.